The views and opinions expressed at Enhanced Down Under are those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official views of the company. Any content provided by our hosts are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. Welcome to Enhanced Down Under. This is the official podcast of Enhance NT. My name is Carol.
And I'm Anna.
I'm a registered migration agent, and Anna is a
QEAC, Qualified Education Agent Counselor.
So in today's podcast, we will be talking about stricter visa rules for international students and other skilled workers. Kasama pala yun. Before we get into our topic for today, I just want to recap on what we talked about in the previous episode. We talked about our partner education providers here in Darwin, namely Alana K College and Canterbury Institute of Management. Okay, so we talked about we compared the different. There's a wealth of difference, of course. One being they offer different courses. Okay, and they also are in different education sectors. One is in vocational sector and the other is in higher education. And we discussed our role in helping students to connect with the proper channels, in namely our education providers. That was pretty much the topic in the last episode. So let's go ahead with today's topic, which is stricter visa rule for international students. I know a lot of people have been hearing this, in the news, on TikTok, and all the social media platforms. Anna, why don't you, you have an article open there. Why don't you read it to us, please? What does it say?
It's actually a joint media release issued by the Honorable Claire O'Neill. She's the Minister for Home Affairs, and Honorable Brendan O'Connor. So on their website,
the Home Affairs website,
they issued that the title actually is Action to End Rights in International Education. So they mentioned that the Albanese government is announcing a package of measures to support integrity in the international education system and to support genuine international students. So according to Minister O'Neill, international education is Australia's fourth largest export industry, and maintaining the quality and integrity of this sector is critical to the Australian economy and Australia's relationships in other regions. So main changes that would take effect immediately. One is the increase in the amount of savings in international students.
So this refers to the financial capacity.
Yes, the evidence of financial capacity. So in 2019, from 2019, it was only around, you say,
around $22,000.
Now they
year.
Increased it by 17%. It would now become $24,505, and they say that this is effective October 1, 2023.
1st of October. Okay.
Yeah, 1st of October. So that's one of the main changes. And the purpose is to ensure that students coming to Australia to study can afford to support themselves and will not face increased risk of exploitation due to an urgent need for employment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does the 24,500, what does it comprise? That actually comprise living cost and travel costs? Or is it just living costs?
I think it's just a living
Just
cost.
only living costs. Okay. So I logged into the regulations just now to double check on the instrument itself. The instrument is actually the law, but it looks like they are updating it right now because I'm unable to access it. I keep getting an error. So normally that means they're editing something or they're basically updating it. So when you provide evidence of financial capacity, it's usually the first 12 months course fees, and then the living costs, which is the big amount. Previously 22,000, now 24,500, plus round trip travel cost. And the round trip travel cost previously was $1,000 to come in, and another 1,000. I mean, it's generally you add $2,000.
Like an indicative amount.
Yeah. But in the regulations, there's no actual amount for travel cost. We just sort of add it
because maybe it varies.
Yeah, it varies because
airline.
It depends where you
and
come
the
from.
Season, yeah.
But generally speaking, we just add 1,000 to come in and 1,000 to
return. Yeah.
To return to your home country. So just add $2,000. So that 24,500 is just living costs. That's all I wanted to highlight. So is there anything else on the article?
Yeah, another one is the government will also consider using its powers to issue suspension certificates to high-risk education providers. Like when they are issued, of course, with suspension certificate, that would mean these providers would not be able to recruit international students anymore. So it's they say the first time that the Australian government will use its power to demonstrate how serious they are in implementing these changes.
Okay. So just for everyone's awareness, you can check for the provider, for accredited providers of international courses on CRICOS website.
Yeah.
That's CRICOS, CRICOS website. So that's where you check if you're if the school that you're looking to study at is actually a provider or not. Believe it or not, I had a client before. I'm already giving a sample situation. Believe it or not, someone came to me before and said some agent gave him this proof of enrollment to a school here in Australia so he could apply for a student visa. And I can't remember the name of the school, okay, but it sounded French. It sounded French. So I said, well, maybe, we have like foreign sounding schools in Australia, like La Trobe University and all those things. So I looked it up on CRICOS. That's the first thing I went to, the CRICOS website, which is actually cricos.de. Wait,
CRICOS, CRICOS. Yeah.
CRICOS. So the whole website is cricos.education.gov.au. So that's where I went to check for the school's name, and it didn't appear. Okay, so finally I went on Google search, and sure enough, it was in France. It was located in France. And I was like, so where did you want to study again? in Australia or in France? In Australia, of course. I want to apply for a student.
But they don't have a branch in Australia.
but this school is not even available here. So why? And that student, I felt so sorry for him because he said, but I already paid my agent $3,000 for the course fees alone. For the course fees alone. But he said he's making excuses why he hasn't lodged the student visa application. So the reason why I'm telling you this, guys, is because when Anna said a lot of schools will be issued suspension cases. So, you might be talking to different agents. So, I mean, who knows? We don't know who you're talking to, whether they're qualified or not. So, for your information, check the CRICOS website. Okay, and we'll put it in the description below, useful links for them to, reputable links for you to check.
Because this is very concerning. According to the website, there are about more than 200 providers that currently have visa refusal rates higher than 50%. So that's why the government is willing to, go to that extent, suspend their certificates.
Okay. But I just want to comment on that. Sometimes it's not completely the school's fault because the visa refusals come from Home Affairs, really. But a lot of factors play on the high refusal rate. It's not just about fraudulent documents. A big part of it is genuine temporary. GTE. I'm sure you guys have heard of the dreaded GTE, which stands for genuine temporary entrant criteria or criterion. It's just one. So, just for your information, the actual wording in the regulation is, so subclass 500.212, it says the applicant is a genuine applicant for entry and stay as a student because, so there's all these reasons. The applicant intends genuinely to stay in Australia temporarily, having regard to applicant circumstances, immigration history, and any other relevant matter. I skipped the minor. Applicant is a minor, okay? So any other relevant matter, which really means we can refuse you if we think you're not genuine, because any other is so broad, and that's usually the reason for refusal.
They are not able to convince the visa officer that they are a genuine temporary entrant.
Correct. So and we have seen, not because it's our clients, but because people send them to us. People who inquire with us send us their refusal letters, and I can tell you that they're almost all the same. It's almost like a copy and paste kind of
statement.
Reason. I'm not satisfied that you will return to your home country. I have given given regard to the support letters from the financial supporters, blah blah blah. But the onus on the applicant the onus is on the applicant to prove that their intention to stay is genuine. So see, we got it memorized, right? So that what the point I'm trying to make is the high refusal rate. We can't totally blame that on the
institution.
On the institution, because they have nothing to do with it really. I guess they would have something to do with it afterwards. Like if they already accepted the student, and then later you find out that the documents were fraudulent. It's always after. But when they're just trying to come in, how can they control, right? Except where they have to make that extra step to verify
or to filter.
Everything else.
Can they do that? They have preferred. They can only accept students from certain countries with low refusal rates. Can they do that?
But that is already happening. They are already doing that right now. And I know this for a fact because I also used to enroll students in schools. Even though they're not my partner school, I still enroll them in other schools. And I have gotten responses saying, because they're from a certain country with a high risk
rate,
where they're not accepting that person. So it is already happening.
Maybe to protect their integrity also.
Yes. So is there any other for the rest of the article?
Yeah, there are just quotes attributable to Minister of Education Jason Clare. So international student numbers are almost back to where they were before the pandemic. That's a good thing. But there are also challenges in international education. As students have come back, so have some dodgy and unscrupulous players who are trying to take advantage of them. So this change will work to stop the predatory second providers from enrolling students before they have studied for the required 6 months at their first provider. So that is mainly to protect the integrity.
Can you read that part again about with the that says 6 months?
Here.
Yeah, read it slowly, please.
So this change will work to stop predatory second providers from enrolling students before they have studied for the required 6 months at their first provider.
Okay. Because currently the rules are, and this is in the terms and conditions. When you enroll, when you sign your acceptance offer from a school, on the fine print, and we do tell this to the students, you're not allowed to transfer to any other education provider, at least for the 6 months, and it is there on the fine print. So I guess they're saying that they want to stop that.
Maybe so there's a lot of incident, that students changing courses or transferring to other institutions
right after
they come here, or even less than 6 months.
Yeah. So they just do the 6 months and then
bye.
Yeah. Go to another school. So I don't know how they will try to stop that. Maybe they will change the regular. And this is my opinion, okay? Because like I said, I'm looking at the regulations. I have it open here, and I'm trying to see if they've already changed the instrument. But it doesn't say that yet, and I can't really open the instruments. They must be updating. Because I'm just thinking, how are you going to control that? Students not changing after 6 months. They must be doing something to the...
Could be, yes.
Yeah, it could be. That's my opinion. Maybe they'll have a wording there to say you're not allowed to change courses anymore.
Otherwise.
Yeah. But they already, what they have in place at the moment is if they change course, then the education provider, the original education provider, is supposed to report that the student has stopped studying with them, which would lead to the COE, or the confirmation of enrollment, being canceled. So that's what they have in place at the moment. But it doesn't mean that the student visa
will be canceled
immediately, because the student can just provide a new COE or letter of offer to say that they're still studying, and the visa can continue. Maybe they'll be stricter on that.
That is the part that they're going to tweak, I think, to
maybe
reflect the new regulation.
Yeah. Again, this is all speculation, because
There's no official yet, of course.
Because I'm looking at the regulation, and it's still the same wordings. I have the one from December 2021. I have it open, and then I also have the one this year, January, open, and they're still the same wordings. There's no changes yet. So I'm just speculating how they're going to make that strict thing, because honestly, it's already strict. The student visa application at the moment, as it is, it's already strict because of the GTE. There's so many
of our students actually find GTE, or coming up with a GTE statement, the hardest part of the application.
Yeah, and I can understand why. It's actually the most important.
It is.
Most important. It doesn't matter if you have all the money, even if you have sufficient money, if they're not convinced that your course has value to your future, or how you're going to use it when you return to your home country, would this course increase your remuneration?
Your employability, or
they use the word
remuneration.
Yeah. So that basically means that your salary will increase in your home country.
You have to demonstrate that. It has to be stated on the GTE, on the statement of purpose. So that's actually, the most important part of the application.
Yeah, it is.
You have to convince the officer that you're just coming to Australia to study, This will add value to your life and to your future career goals. And then after that, you will return to your home country.
Okay, so it's really increasing the funds, which I already said. It doesn't matter if you increase the funds, if you don't meet the GTE, it's, you're still gonna get refused.
Another
right?
one I think that they are going to increase, although it's not mentioned on the website, is the English level test.
Oh, okay.
IELTS.
It's not mentioned on the
article. It's not mentioned on the article, but from what we heard, it's from 5.5 overall.
Yeah, I wanted to go through all the, just Googling everything and seeing what all the articles say, but I just want you to go through the rest of the article, if there's still anything there.
Just, quotes from the rest of the other officials, like, from the Minister for Skills and Training, Brandon O'Connor. The changes reflect our determination to strengthen the integrity of the VET sector, vocational and education training sector. They're very particular. He specifically mentioned the VET sector because 9 out of 10 future jobs will require a post-secondary qualification, and VET is a vital pathway to secure jobs. According to Minister Brandon O'Connor, they are committed to lifting perceptions of VET, and this is an important step to do that. So, they want to ensure that the purpose for VET sector is critical in responding to skill shortages and teaching and training their existing and future workforce.
Okay, and that's all the article.
That's about it for the joint statement that they issued.
Yeah, I would say this really affects the vocational colleges. Because, generally speaking, students who are studying bachelor degrees, it's very rare that they get a refusal. It's rare. I mean, you still get maybe 1 or 2, but generally speaking, it has a higher approval rate, if you take bachelor degree. But, this really mainly affects vocational courses. But really, the crux of it all is that they just want genuine students. Yeah, and if they don't want you to transfer, then just stick to your course.
Yeah, finish it.
Just finish it. I mean, make your life easy and just finish it. But I guess it really is the costing. So if you couldn't afford it to begin with, then that means you're not.
You're not meant to be here.
Don't say that. No, I mean you probably weren't genuine in your declaration of financial capacity.
You have to have the budget.
Yeah, I just want to read what it says here. Again, I'm on the regulations, and the exact wording is, the applicant will have genuine access to funds.
Yeah,
those are the exact wordings. So. We mentioned this in our past episode,
episode 1, I believe.
Yeah, where maybe you're trying to show that you have your ninang's funds,
or your neighbor's fund.
Your neighbor's fund.
You can,
your tita's fund, your auntie or your grandmother's savings. Some of you might get through and get a visa, but did you really have genuine access to those funds? So, that's really important, because once you're here, you don't want to rely on work,
on your employment.
Because how will you have time to finish your study if you're working all the time? I mean, just being honest, right? You still need to give time to your studies. Otherwise, you won't finish it, and you need to apply for another student visa again.
So it's just going to be a cycle.
Cycle.
You were not able to, give quality time to your education because most of the time you're employed, you're busy with your work. So when the main purpose of you coming here to study is to study.
Correct.
And not to work.
Yeah, work is just to supplement your experience
and income, but it should not be your main source of income while you're here. and studying.
And it is a vicious cycle, and that's one of the reasons why some are on permanent temporary visas. They call it permanent temporary visas because they just keep renewing their student visas for 10 years. They've been in
for
Australia.
10 years in
They've been
still
in
in
Australia.
student visa.
Still on a student visa.
That's awful.
And it could be, that's a factor, like because maybe they relied on work all the time and they couldn't finish, or they had to transfer, but then maybe they also didn't get the proper advice from their agent, and it didn't provide a permanent visa pathway. So there are a lot of cases like that, and it's really sad when you hear these stories. So that is probably part of the reason why they're becoming stricter.
I remember that you mentioned in one of our episodes that if they are students and working, they should ensure that their work experience is in line with their course of study, not just get any employment that is available.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it's better to get it and get it has to be related to what you're studying, so that you can use it. You can use that work experience towards getting your permanent visa in the near future. And yeah, that's absolutely right. So what? Oh yeah, I wanted to look at all the clips of news about this stricter visa rules. So the Straits Times says the report outlined measures to overhaul the sector, including tougher English language requirement tests and reduced work rights. Now that wasn't on the article. So you did mention that they're going to increase the English requirements from 5.5 to 6.0.
Yeah.
Okay. And reduced work rights. I didn't hear about that. Because
Me too.
right now they increased it because of the pandemic from 20 hours a week to 24 hours a week. So I guess they're gonna reduce it. Maybe it'll go back to the old. Maybe. Hopefully it's not lower than the original 20 hours per week. So we'll watch out for that. From visaenvoy.com, it says in early 2024, the Australian government will increase the English. Okay, I already read that.
Yeah, same thing that Reuters issued. They mentioned about the increase in the English language test, and they even say that the purpose is to overhaul what is said a broken migration system.
But 5.5 was already the requirement for vocational sector. Because if you're going to study higher education, it was a 6.
It was 6.
It was always 6 anyway. So
now they're going to increase it for higher education. It would now become 6.5. They say.
That's odd. You know why that's odd? Because if you're applying for a general skilled visa, you just need a 6.
6.
Yeah.
So
anyway, that's odd. Well, anyway, their rules, not mine.
Yeah, that's odd, really. For if you're applying for 494
general,
visa.
I'm talking about general occupation.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're a doctor or a nurse, you need at least a 7. Okay. What else are they saying? Australia. This was from. Oh, you already read Reuters. Oh, from ISEF. Oh, I have ISEF open. So, ISEF stands for. What does it stand for? International. Wait, hang on.
Bear with us.
ISEF. International Consultants for Education and Fairs. Okay, so this is we're part of ISEF because we're education agents. Okay, so it doesn't really concern students per se, but more the education agents on a global platform, not just Australia. So what ISEF is saying is, so again, increased regulation of international education and more selective processes for approving or rejecting foreign student applicants. Some post-study work rights have been reduced. The savings threshold for applicants has been raised, which you already mentioned. A new genuine student test will apply to all international students. Now, this is the one that I heard a long time ago, the genuine student test, and that gave me hope that it would make it easier. But I guess they're trying to balance it. I heard they were going to take out the GTE
and then
replace it with genuine student test. So instead of GTE, it will just be GS, genuine student.
Also from ISEF, to support graduates. It's speaking of balancing things. To support graduates, the federal government will consider granting automatic temporary graduate visas to people who complete their studies to provide more certainty to employers.
Okay. So those are the highlights, really. It says here the final highlight in ISEF website is high-risk education providers can expect slower visa processing or more extreme consequences. But how will they know? How will students know that this education provider is high risk? Okay, I will tell you my opinion. Okay, normally when you go to Home Affairs website, there's this thing called the document checklist tool. Okay, so if an education provider is high risk, typically it will have a lot of requirements compared to a low risk provider. So normally it would require financial capacity, IELTS. That's it, really. That's it. Those are the high risk ones.
But the high risk.
Yeah, because you would have more requirements to show. Okay, because right now there are some education providers that don't require IELTS.
Yeah, or you can use their in-house English test.
They provide in-house English test, and sometimes you don't even need to provide financial evidence of financial capacity. So those are low risk. So how do you find out? You go to the document checklist tool on the Home Affairs website. Okay, and that's where you put in.
There's a list of institutions.
Yeah, there's a drop-down list where you put in your country and the name of your education provider, and then you click submit, and then it will
give you a number of those requirements that you need to submit if ever you want to enroll to that education provider.
Yeah. Okay, so that's how you find out. So that's just my comment on that one. Okay, so is there anything else that you would like to add regarding this stricter, like your final thoughts on the stricter visa rule for international students?
Overall, for me, I think it is advantageous because the government just aims to protect the integrity of the education system. And they want to ensure that they would have genuine temporary entrant, genuine students to come here. And it's also for the protection of the students. When they come here, they might get exploited because they're desperate to get income. So they wouldn't know. They might not get paid or lower than the actual rate. So that's exploitation. And the government aims to protect them from those kind of situation. And although it would have, on the long run may impact the migration rate in the country, but still it is important. I believe it's on the quality instead of the quantity.
Yes, I agree with you. And my final thoughts are that, if you're a genuine student, you have nothing to be afraid of, really. If you have funds, you have your parents supporting you or a relative, and you don't intend to transfer or anything, you have nothing to worry about, really.
Right.
So
it's not for you. It's not for you to worry about.
Yeah, it's really for those people who have other intentions, which probably just to work. For those people, just consider other visas, but don't go to an an education agent if you want to work.
Yeah.
If you want to work,
Because we
talk
will
to a
tell you
registered
straight.
migration agent.
We will tell you straight that this is the visa. Student visa is not for you. We'll be very honest with you.
I mean, if that's your intention, there are other ways to come to Australia other than the student visa.
Consult
okay?
a registered migration
Yeah,
agent.
don't go to a dodgy agent who will
Yeah.
tell you, I promise you this when you come here. No,
Yeah.
don't go there, okay? And it's for your own protection because this is your life, you know. You're talking about your life.
Your future.
Yeah.
And you're going to spend a lot of money. So you might as well spend it to, reputable agents.
Yes. So that's it for our episode today. Again, I just want to talk. I just want to plug in our Greener Pasture series, second series, which we want to launch in early March, and we're looking for a migrant who has had a colorful journey coming to Australia. If you are that migrant, please consider contacting us and sharing your journey with us and the Darwin community. Okay? Again, my name is Carol.
I'm Anna.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Hello, Darwin community. I'm Carol of Enhance NT. We are proud to announce that Greener Pasture, A Migrant's Tale is on its second series. Most of us, if not all of us, here are migrants. We all came to Australia to seek a greener pasture, a better life. And each one of us has a unique story. Together, our stories tell tales of courage, resilience, and hope that often are not heard loud enough. Our goal is therefore to bring these narratives to the forefront, to acknowledge the challenges faced during migration, and at the same time, to celebrate the incredible strength of the people migration journeys breed. We are here not just to listen, but to learn and extend our empathy to support each other and to realize that we are not alone in this foreign country that we now call home. Let's welcome an inspiring individual to our stage. I would like to introduce to everyone to our featured live storyteller, Eleanor Javier.
Yun lang, wala yan akong pinas ng pera. Ang hirap kumilos kasi gusto ko kumain, wala akong pagbili. So, hindi kayo pa yung 1 month na sahod. Okay, 1 month. Anymore, this is your, tapos binibilan ako ng shampoo, gano'n. Kailangan ko yung toothpaste. Nakadalawang months na, delay ko na. Kaya, delay na.
This is a heartfelt initiative aimed at bridging gaps and fostering understanding within our vibrant Darwin community. Because of us migrants, our community thrives. From this day forward is a step towards a much richer Darwin. We are looking for the next inspiring live storyteller. We invite you to join us in our search. Feel free to nominate your friends and colleagues for this one-of-a-kind event. Deadline for submission of your nomination is on the 9th of February. Just leave a comment below and we'll contact you. We can't wait to hear your migrant stories of trials and success.